Today is Friday, and it's the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Each year it's celebrated on the Friday after Corpus Christi. Sister Mary Margaret Alouette, a visitation sister, had a series of visions in the 17th century from the Lord. And it all centered around his heart and how his heart was on fire for our love. We all know the classic image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Jesus standing with his arms open and his heart on his chest with flames of divine love on them. It's a very moving image of our Lord. An image not of a stern God who's judging us, but of a loving God who opens his heart to us. His heart that was pierced on the cross. You see the image of the Sacred Heart. The heart is pierced and there's blood and water dripping out of the heart. This devotion sprang up in the church in a very difficult time. The Enlightenment was afoot in Europe. Everything was becoming very rational. And in the haste for rationality, many rejected God. And even many believers began to abstract God. God became a theory. God became very distant. The cult of the saints was very much active in the church at that time amongst the common people. By the cult of the saints, I mean, the veneration of the saints, the asking of saints to intercede for particular causes. And even in that common piety, God was becoming distanced. Because you had to go through whichever saint was the patron saint of whatever cause you needed. So both on the intellectual end with the rationalist and on the common piety end of ordinary Catholics, God was becoming remote. And as happens throughout the history of the church, God responds to his people where they're at. In this vision to St. Mary Margaret is one that makes the person of Jesus Christ front and center. Takes the devotion not away from the saints, but centers it where it properly should be, on the person of Jesus Christ. It responds to the intellectuals who want to abstract God by saying, no, here is the second person. Here is the incarnate Jesus who died on the cross for us, whose heart was pierced for us. And that heart burns for our love as surely today as it did all those centuries ago on the cross. That's the genius of this devotion. It's a genius that Mary Margaret didn't make up, but that Jesus Christ himself revealed to her. So in this feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, let us always remember that the heart of Jesus burns for us. May our hearts burn for him as well. God bless.